Okami was one of the most underrated video games of all time. It is an incredible game, and now it's coming to current generation platforms, the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, in the form of Okami HD. This is a game that, even with its re-release right around the corner, has still been going very under the radar. It's a great game that you should definitely be looking forward to, and in this video, we're going to be going over 5 reasons why you should be excited for Okami HD. Number 1, so let's talk about what Okami is. Okami is set sometime in classical Japanese history. The game combines several Japanese myths, legends, and folklore to tell the story of how the land was saved from darkness by the sun goddess Amaterasu. Amaterasu took the form of a white wolf and aesthetically was a very pleasing character. It features a very distinct Sumi-e inspired cel-shaded visual style, and the celestial brush is a big element to its unique gameplay. The gameplay is one of the standout elements of Okami, and that's great because a game should have quality gameplay. It's a mix of action, platforming, and puzzle, and it sees a lot of comparisons to the gameplay style of the Legend of Zelda franchise. Now, off the surface, if you've never played Okami, that's a very exciting premise, and you could make an argument that Okami's gameplay is at the level of the Legend of Zelda. It's that good. And the director of Okami, Hideki Kamiya, has said that the Legend of Zelda has influenced his general game design. The story is primarily linear, and given the fact that the game was released back in 2006, at this point in time, that open world boom really hadn't happened, and this is one of those games that's definitely stronger as a linear experience. Who knows if this game was developed in 2017, would Capcom and Clover Studios had made this an open world experience? I don't think Okami is one of those games that would transition well into an open world design, but that's a moot point. The game is linear and it works great that way. And throughout the game, as you complete quests, side quests, and additional activities, you earn praise, and that can be used to increase various statistics of your character, such as the amount of health you have and the number of ink wells for your celestial brush. It has those RPG elements similar to The Legend of Zelda once again, but that definitely isn't an integral component of the game, just an additional element. Number 2, incredible presentation. So this comes from more of a personal standpoint, but playing Okami, this game is one of the most aesthetically beautiful games that you will ever lay your eyes on. The cel-shaded visuals are amazingly done. You can compare it to something like The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, but in my opinion, Okami is a better looking game than that. The storytelling is very well done, and there's a lot of thematics to the game that really opens it up to interpretation. And of course, no game's aesthetic appeal would be complete without great music, and Okami has that in spades. There is an incredible soundtrack in Okami that adds to the immersion of the game and really absorbs you into the story. And music has always been one of those components that not a lot of gamers talk about when talking about a game, but it is a core component to the immersion of a video game, and Okami, once again, an incredible soundtrack is present here. Number 3, critical acclaim. So don't take it from me, what did the critics say about Okami? GameSpot gave the game a 9 out of 10 and selected it as an editor's choice title, saying its design instantly stands out, but it turns out to be just one of many inspired aspects of this impressive action-adventure game, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. Right away when you look at Okami, it's a very captivating game visually, but then you quickly realize that that's only a single element of the game, and all of the other elements are very well done. IGN gave the game a 9.1 out of 10 and touted as being beautiful, charismatic, engaging, and one of the most original games you'll play anytime soon. Once again, completely agree with that statement. This game just breeds originality. You don't see games like Okami come to the forefront, and that's why it's a must-play title. EGM's 3 reviewers gave it a 9, 9.5, and 9 out of 10. Eurogamer scored the game a perfect 10 out of 10, saying right from the start it conjures an atmosphere of being something special, but to keep that level of quality up consistently over 60 hours ensures that this will be a game that will be talked about for years to come. Unfortunately, while the niche audience still brings up Okami as one of the best PlayStation 2 games of all time, the game didn't see that much commercial success and it's been forgotten about. And to put a close on the critical acclaim, in 2007, Okami was given the 18th best PlayStation 2 game of all time in IGN's feature reflecting on the PS2's long lifespan. Now, while that doesn't sound that crazy, 18th best PlayStation 2 game, personally I would rank it a little bit higher, but this is about the critics. 18th on the PlayStation 2 library, that is ridiculous given the fact that the PlayStation 2 had literally hundreds upon hundreds of great games. When you look at titles like Shadow of the Colossus, Eco, a lot of the JRPGs like Final Fantasy X, God of War, Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, I can go on and on. 18th is actually incredibly high in ranking the PlayStation 2 games, and it should be commended for that. Number 4, so let's talk about this version's improvements. So you know why Okami is great, but what is this new remaster giving you? Well, the Windows and PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version include both digital and retail editions, so if you do want to pick up a retail copy, you can do that. And of course, as with any HD remastering, you are going to see much better visuals, and this version will support up to 4K resolutions and include an optional widescreen presentation alongside the 4:3 aspect ratio of the original game, so it's leaving the options up to you in how you want to play the game. Outside of that, what will also be returning is that mini game during the loading screens, so that's a pretty cool, nice addition, but the main game is intact, and that's probably the best way to go about things. For those of you that are picking the game up on PC, I want to go over the system requirements very quickly. On the minimum side, you're looking at an Intel Core i5 2500 3.3 GHz, 2 GB of RAM, and NVIDIA GeForce GTX 470, and 34 GB of available hard drive space. At the recommended side, you're looking at a very beefy Intel Core i7 3770 as the recommended processor, 8 GB of RAM, a GeForce GTX 950, so that's fairly low, and once again, 34 GB of available hard drive space. And finally, let's talk about the release date and the price point, which is very enticing. Okami HD will be hitting the market on December 12th, so just a little bit over a week from the recording of this video, and the great thing about the title is that Capcom probably could have gotten away with charging $40 for this game. It's heralded as one of the great games in history, and if they wanted to charge $40, they probably could get away with it. However, Okami HD will only be a $20 release. That is amazing. That goes for the retail copy as well as the physical copy. So if you have Amazon Prime, that means you can get Okami HD for just $16, and that is a ridiculous price for an amazing game. So yes, with a lot of games being very expensive these days, Okami HD only $20, and that is a great price for those of you that have never experienced this terrific game. So that concludes 5 reasons why you should be excited for Okami HD. What do you think? As the year is winding down, not many are looking to the upcoming game releases for the rest of this year, but Okami HD is one you should definitely have your eyes on, especially if you've never played Okami. It's one of those games like Shadow of the Colossus, like Eco, that really does a good job in conveying video games as an art form. So sound off in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.